Welcome back guys. In the last video we installed our project. Now let's go to your favorite text editor. In my case I'm using the Visual Studio Code. So my job is my project name, and if you expand this you'll see a lot of folders, right? And we're not going through each and every folder, but I'll talk about some of the important folders here. So my app, you can see here, which is the app on the top. If you expand this you'll see different folders. So HTTP is one of the most important here because we're going to make a controller as we go through. So currently we have just one controller here. So all the controllers will be within the controllers folder, okay? And within HTTP we do have middleware folder. So and there are a lot of middlewares, many middlewares here, and they have different purposes. So when we go through the course we'll probably make a middleware to give some permission. Basically middleware are used for authorization type of stuff, okay? Giving some permission, allowing the particular user to enter the specific route, specific URL. So in that case we'll just use a middleware, okay? And we have a models, and by default Laravel will give you the user model, and so we'll be making a lot of models like this, okay? So here you have user models, means when you make a migration you have to make a users migration. That means if you have a user models you should have users table in your database, okay? So this is models are the things that interact with your database, and as you can see here we have also like array with the field level properties, name, email and password. This means that if you have a users table in your database it should have some of the field like name, email and passport. But this doesn't mean that all. It just means that whenever you submit something to the form, and if you have declared name, email and passport here, this gonna be stored in your database, okay? So we'll talk about this as well in later part of video. So the other important thing is the public folder. So here we can store the images, we can have a CSS file, and we can link to our file, okay? So this is the public directory. And another most important is the resources and the views. So we'll define all the views within the views folder. So we can make as many as folder here. We can make a different file, and we'll be using the blade. As you can see here we have a welcome.blade.php, and here we'll write our all HTML stuffs, okay? So it's on the resources, views, and here you can include a JS, here CSS folder, right? And the other important thing is the routes. So we have a different routes, as you can see here, like api.php, channel.php, console and the web. However, we are gonna only use the web route. We are not going to use the API, channel or console route. So api.php, we define API route only. So we are not going to make any API, so we are not going to use api.php. So we'll not be using this in our project. And channel.php is used to describe authorization for a notification channel. We are not going to use this as well. And console, you can define a closure based command, okay, like php underscore command, and I'll let you know about this in upcoming video. However, the most important thing for us is the web.php, and we'll define all our routes here. As you can see here we have a get route here, and it's giving a slash. Slash is the this one, like I mean like when you go to the main domain, that is the like a home page, this is the slash, okay? So it says that with the get route, when you go to the domain we just want to return a view welcome, and welcome is the blade file which should be in resources, views and welcome. So currently we are getting this one, okay, this page. So if you remove this welcome, if you change everything this, and if you write welcome, and if you go and give a refresh, so here, so this is returning the welcome.blade.php. So okay, and let's go to the .env file. So Here is the .env file, so we can define our credentials here. For this video I want to just set up our connection to our database. So I'm using SQL Pro. You can use any database. So just let's make our database. So here I'll add a database and I'll give as my job as my database, and this is my job. Currently it does not have any table, so we have to connect our database. So MySQL, and here I'll write my job, which is my database name. Username is my root, and in most of case we may not have the password, but in my case I have a password which is root and root. Okay, so this much for this video guys, and in the next video also we'll be learning some of the basic stuff. So I'll see you in the next video.